Hello, this is Robeens, and I'll be talking about a book called Pathfinder. I found the book through the book speed dating, and it popped out to me because I like books that are adventurous and basically things that normal, ordinary people do not do, like flying or telepathy or whatever, telekinesis. But what popped out was that, yeah, it was an adventurous book, and it actually talks about a kid named Rig, and he basically lives in a cabin with his father, goes out hunting. When he finds the meat and the animal, he gets the leather, the pelt, and then he sells it to a nearby seller. They get money, they spend it on whatever they need, and they basically repeat most of the days. And with his father, his only way of learning is basically through his dad, and his dad is just an ordinary man that knows a lot of math, science, and weirdly riddles. But the thing that was different about this book is that Rig actually knows how to seek paths. That means if there is an animal, he can just see paths throughout the ground and track the animal. So the thing is about this book, the problem is that there is actually a fake government that starts a war with people. And this book is actually set in 2042, which is, it should be futuristic, where people do not live in cabins and do not hunt for their own meat illegally, but you'll need tags. So the fake government basically said at day zero, which is 2000, they said that the world would end, volcanoes would erupt, earthquakes, tsunamis, and whatever. And basically, the fake government, well, the people went crazy before 2000. They went broke all the technology, rebelled against every rule. They basically had a purge throughout 1999, and they basically wrecked all the technology. So in 2042, everything is ruined, and there's really no technology for people to use. So that's why they did this. But the fake government actually wants to find a family generation that actually can find paths, and yeah, only find paths. But when Rig was born, his dad never told him, but he had a second power throughout his whole family, that it can change time. Though his dad never told him, because he would have changed time as a kid and never noticed. So he never knew until a day where they were hunting, and Rig's dad, a tree falls on Rig's dad and basically punctures his liver, and he's just left there to die and screaming for Rig. Rig runs over there because he's just chopping some trees, and he finds his. He doesn't really find his dad, but he sees that the tree is falling, and he hears his dad. So he before he takes a step, his dad says stop, and he says, do not take a step, and please do not look at me when I'm dead or alive. And he says that, Rig, you have been destined to lead your family and the world through a dark era, which is basically after Ground Zero. So once he finds out, well, his dad tells him that you have second power, which is to change time, and he says, how do I do that? And after he says that, there is no reply. So he's like, Dad, and he just there's no reply. And then he kept his promise to his dad, which is not to look at his body even when he's alive or dead. So he goes back home, and there is a there is a mom and a sister. Well, you can say a old girl and a young girl. And Rig says, "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" And right away, the old woman hugs Rig and says, "Welcome back, son." And then is like, "Are you my mom?" And then the woman says, "Yes, I haven't. You haven't seen me for a while because I had to run away from soldiers trying to capture us. So you and your dad and me and your sister had to run away from soldiers getting us." And yeah, so the fake government the soldiers going after them was through the fake government, because the fake government wanted to catch that generation and get their blood to use it for world domination. So basically, yeah, he tries to, after he finds his mom tells him what to do throughout the story, to either go out and hide, or make you, like, find your destiny. So basically, that's the reason I chose my book. It's an adventurous book that just caught my attention, and the author is Orson Scott Card, and uh, it's actually, he's famous for his book called Ender's Game. I've read that book too. So when I saw as the author, I said, "Oh, this is a good author. He's wrote pretty good books." And throughout all his books, I think this was my favorite. And thanks for watching, and I thank you.